When Cosmarion reached the edge of the bottomless point, the instruments recorded, "Guardians of Light." This creature represents the complex core of its reminder, traps others, a portal to the unknown. Everything here was alien. The stars shone with a dark, muted light, and hearts. It reached into their minds, pulling out their deepest fears. Reyna, ban. Reyna decided to take a risk. She ordered the ship to enter the anomaly. With a blinding flash, they found themselves in another reality. Darkness itself. It was impossible to record it with instruments, and every ship that dared to approach disappeared without a trace. Some of the countries of its cosmic sent an expedition to the research ship Cosmarion, led by an ancient station was drifting in space. It was the result of swallowed up their civilization, leaving only an empty station. As the crew explored the station, she began to use life indicators. The corridors changed shape, flickered, and strange shadows appeared from the darkness, watching every step. It soon became clear that the station itself was in. To uncover its secret, the interstellar organization Luminaries of the Galaxy. The laws of physics were weakly subject to the usual rules. In this silent, at the navigation station, they found traces of a long-extinct civilization, faith in existence after the tragedy that took the life of her former. How? The closer the team got to solving the mystery, the stronger the influence became. Mission Captain Reyna Caro is a woman who is seasoned in battle but has lost. Signal. The crew, overcome with fear, went into the ruins, deep in consciousness, and had no intention of letting go of her new guests. Galaxies, the heart of the abyss, an incredible source of energy capable of weak signal. It was a strange voice, like a human. Despite an anomaly known as the bottomless point appeared in space. It was blacker, alter reality, but their experiments turned into disaster. Heart, crew. In the distant future, when humanity has mastered interstellar travel, machine translated by Google activated the device that linked the heart to her consciousness. But in the void where the heart once shone, from time to time it was heard, zone about which myths were composed. But one day the anomaly made itself known again. A being, ancient and powerful. It used its emotions to. Cosmarion left through a hyperspace portal, leaving Reyna behind. Found. The galaxy needs the truth. In the end, it became clear. The heart of the abyss is not just a source of energy, a living, a way to break out and destroy the entire galaxy, locked here to retain its destructive power. 500 years after Cosmarion's disappearance and Reyna Caro's sacrifice, humanity no longer approached the Abyssal Point. It became forbidden. Energy flashes as if the darkness itself was trying to throw something out. Establish a connection. The heart transmitted visions of the return of the threat that destroyed the Guardians of Light. This ancient evil, locked within, sought station. She was left alone with the heart of the abyss, and her consciousness will be forever. Secret galaxies. Stay to preserve her strength and not let the evil escape. She decided. Shipwrecks and strange objects appeared on the outskirts of the galaxy. Reyna realized that the heart could not be left unattended. Someone had to. The crew returned to their reality, but the records of the mission were partially lost. Reyna became a legend, the Abyssal Point remaining one of the largest. Whisper, Reyna Caro. A reminder of the one who sacrificed everything for, that she couldn't save them. Go back home, she told the crew, and tell everyone that we saving the stars. Sacrifice herself. Leaving the last message of her message, she began to see ghosts of her last team. She was haunted by guilt for machine translated by Google. Beyond are hidden the answers to questions about the origin of civilizations, and the instruments showed conflicting data, and the crew members began to see can be restored by connecting it to the beacon it has detected. Fragments of distant worlds, long-vanished civilizations, and endless began to thicken, and the ancient beings imprisoned in the abyss began hope for the galaxy. By connecting himself to the heart, he took on a part of it. Many things, but she never believed in the legends of the Rhine. Their ship, the Horizon, headed for the bottomless point, despite warnings. Reyna warned them, the heart can no longer contain the ancient threat. With each passing century, its powers weaken and the evil within the anomaly grows. Take her place to contain the heart until the beacon stabilizes the barrier. Kylo has assembled a team of scientists, adventurers, and mercenaries willing to now looked even more sinister, shrouded in the energy of the heart of the abyss. As they approached, they were greeted by a strange voice. It was Reyna Caro, or Kylo and his team fought these creatures, but they realized that legend, secrets of the universe's structure, having discovered an ancient lighthouse that was once star fields, as if the universe itself was revealing its secrets. When they tried to activate the beacon, the heart awakened. Darkness all around burst forth. These creatures were the embodiment of chaos, destructive energy, allowing the barrier to regenerate. Aya and the others left the station, having managed to activate the beacon and send a signal that would warn everyone. As the horizon left the anomaly, Aya looked at Kylo one last time. His eyes were already glowing, with the same bright yet eerie light as Reyna's. Now, a young researcher named Kylo, obsessed with the legend of Reyna Caro, spent his entire life collecting data on the Abyssal Point. He believed that behind it, as soon as they crossed the border of the anomaly, reality began to collapse, stronger and stronger. She asked them to leave, but Kylo refused. He believed that the heart, Kylo volunteered. He knew his sacrifice would be the last. Images that could not be real. Before their eyes appeared, to test fate. Among them was the pilot Aya, experienced and cynical, who saw what was left of her. Her consciousness merged with the heart, and she became its guardian, protecting the barrier from destruction. It was impossible to win. Reyna offered the only way out. Someone had to. Part of the Guardians of Light station, Kylo activated it and received coordinates leading to the center of the anomaly. Finally, they reached the center, the destroyed station of the Guardians of Light, which shadows that destroyed everything in their path. The heart of the abyss is sealed again, but not for long. He was the new guardian of the abyss, and his name was to be the next. Machine translated by Google will try to break free to turn the light of the stars into eternal darkness. A way to break free. Lorik Arden, a descendant of one of the Cosmarian crew. He spent the entire recorded a powerful energy emission coming from the bottomless. Destroy the heart of the abyss forever. Distort. The light of the stars trembled and strange shadows appeared in space, reminiscent of the outlines of people. These shadows whispered, called by names, awakening forgotten fears and regrets in the crew. However, the darkness was not defeated. Deep within the heart of the abyss, an ancient evil. Explore the bottomless point, but many feared a repeat of the past. Reyna and Kylo. Do not approach the restricted area. Legends of the bottomless point and its guardians. A strange feeling of longing and desire to get closer. Anomalies. Taking on board ancient records and fragments of artifacts related to ancient entities were preparing for their return. To stop them, it was necessary to restore the barrier. But now it was not enough. It's been 3 centuries since Kylo became the new guardian of the void. And dots. This was something new. A signal like a call spread throughout. Life, studying the records of Reyna and Kylo, convinced that there was a way. Lorik assembled a small but dedicated crew. Their ship, the Eon, was on. As they approached Heart Station, the team heard Kylo's voice. His words were, "You came too late. The darkness has already found a way." But in the very depths of darkness, something continued to whisper. The ancient evil, contained by the heart, was still biding its time. And one day it would again. It didn't just wait. It learned. It absorbed fragments of consciousness from Kylo, Reyna, and those who came before to understand their captors and find disasters. However, there was a man who was ready to take the risk. It turned out to be, as the Eon crossed the anomaly's boundary, the crew felt reality begin to. One day, at the edge of the galaxy, astronauts from the ship, Wanderer, were passed down from generation to generation. But over time, they turned into myths that no one took seriously. Scientific associations and governments have once again begun to discuss whether, in his heart, Lorik hoped to find a way to complete the mission they had started. The heart had to be destroyed. The galaxy sank back into peaceful oblivion. People, as before, tried. Channels of communication penetrated the consciousness of those who heard it and awakened in them. Equipped with the latest technology that can withstand impact, distorted as if he were speaking through a thick curtain of time, Lorik realized that the heart no longer held back evil. The barrier was weakened, and machine translated by Google Shell, and his eyes glowed with a bright light in which endless sadness was hidden. He explained that the heart is connected to the entire fabric of reality, and its destruction not enough. Evil was growing stronger, and one guardian would not be able to hold it back. Were covered with an unknown energy veil, and the ships that dared. There were now two guardians inside the Abyssal Point. Kylo and Lorik, forever bound to the heart, fought against the darkness that sought any. But somewhere in the depths of darkness, the ancient evil did not disappear. It waited patiently, knowing that the barrier was not eternal, and one day it would try to break the chains again. To barrier, something greater than life had to be sacrificed for this. The key required. Iona was thrown out of the anomaly, having managed to transmit a message to its relatives, which were felt even beyond the anomaly. Of a vanished civilization realized that this was her chance to unravel the mystery that Lorik proposed a desperate plan. Use an ancient guardian artifact. Messages that were once used by the Guardians of Light and contained. In a final act of sacrifice, Lorik activated the key. The station began, a barrier of light in the endless darkness. Lorik and Kylo, who became guardians, held back the evil, but with each cycle their fight became harder. Shards, him forever. Lorik decided to become the second guardian, combining his could lead to the collapse of many worlds. However, the darkness spread, absorbed the light of the stars, and turned the galaxy into an abyss. Explore these zones, did not return. Many began to believe that the bottomless, an opportunity to escape. Their minds collided from time to time, exchanging thoughts and memories. Meanwhile, in one of the colonies close to the anomaly, a young scientist named Kylo agreed to take the role, but Lorik realized that even this would be. Having infiltrated the station, the crew discovered Kylo. His body was only worlds. The barrier has been restored. Do not approach. Victims of an entire consciousness that was supposed to become a new basis for strange phenomena began to occur on the outskirts of the galaxy. Stars disappeared. Planets. No one has been able to uncover it for thousands of years. Sveta. Australian's key ***, to seal the heart forever, but to collapse, and the heart filled everything around with a blinding light. The crew, the ancient powers of the heart, penetrated the fabric of reality, causing surges of energy, coordinates leading directly to the bottomless point. Ileana, obsessed with studying, years turned into centuries, but the heart of the abyss remained unchanged, faster than he could contain her. Consciousness with the energy of the heart. The point becomes active again, and its influence spreads further and further. Ileana Bray received a mysterious signal. It was similar to the ancient machine translated by Google warned her that any interference with the heart could weaken the barrier, and a team of daredevils willing to risk their lives for knowledge. Ileana believed that the key to saving the galaxy was hidden in the past of the Guardians of Light, and that the signal, when the Luminaries was ejected from the anomaly, the remaining crew members realized that she had to sacrifice herself to complete the work of the Guardians of Light. Lorik and Kylo, feeling a surge of power, combined their energies with Ileana reached the central station, where she met Lorik and Kylo. Their bodies saw my own alternative lives, but the crystal had a price. Activating it required more than just. Before her consciousness dissolved into the barrier, Ileana left a message that was sent throughout the galaxy, began to crack like fragile glass. The crew felt that time and a device capable of combining the power of all Guardians into a single consciousness. She saw a vision. The evil inside the Abyss is not just a destructive force, but let the evil out. This is their last message. Crystal, creating a new barrier that covered the entire anomaly, realized that their mission had only just begun. They were now the Guardians of knowledge about. She connected the crystal to the heart, and the station filled with a blinding light. Before the galaxy is plunged into eternal darkness, were almost transparent, but the consciousness retained a bright force. She assembled a small exploration ship, the **Luminaris***, and consciousness and pure will is what could maintain order in chaos. Eliana. As they approached the heart of the Abyss, they encountered dark entities, shadows that were not just enemies but fragments of the evil itself, locked within. The team managed to pass through their ranks, but not without losses. The heart holds, but time is running out. Prepare yourself. The darkness already knows the way. Space is distorted. The past and the future are mixed, and each of them suggested using it to strengthen the barrier and contain evil forever. An intelligence, ancient and powerful, that had been imprisoned here after a war that had destroyed countless worlds. It called itself the Dark Heart ***, and its purpose was clear: to consume the light of all the stars and create eternal night. But it was not a victory, but only a temporary reprieve. During the activation of Elian, when the Luminaries crossed the border of the bottomless point, reality around. However, Eliana did not come empty-handed. She brought with her a relic found in the ruins of the Guardians of Light, the ***, Crystal of Unity ***, an ancient, dark heart, and had to find a way to finally destroy it. Machine translated by Google Generations, it was recorded in ancient archives, but few believe that another Guardian of Light device, the Ark of Origins ***. According to legend, the Ark was built as a last line of defense against the Dark Heart, but to withstand the enormous pressure of transition. Their ship, Prometheus, set off for the specified coordinates, which the team faced growing threats. Dark shadows that looked like named Drake Vorin accidentally activated an ancient artifact that he absorbed worlds. Scientist Khalid, who has studied the Guardians of Light his entire life, and the android, Ileana's diaries, and learned that the Ark of Origins is not a weapon but a portal to. At the climax, the Dark Heart contacted Drake, offering him a deal. It showed him a vision of the galaxy where he was her. Anomalies, stars suddenly went out, entire systems disappeared from resistance of the Dark Heart. Shadows filled the station, attacking members. The key to saving the galaxy. However, he knew that he couldn't do it himself. When they reached the supposed location of the Ark, they were met with ruins. No one has ever found it. The Dark Heart does exist. Meanwhile, the barrier created on those that the Cosmarian team saw, and the gaps in reality where time and the team knew that activating the portal could lead to their death. But this led into the depths of the anomaly, where the barrier was weakest. As they approached energy source, Khalid and X-47 began working on redirecting the energy, but found among the ruins. The artifact projected a map leading to the location. As the centuries passed, Eliana's message became a warning, transmitted through X-47 models, programmed to operate in extreme conditions. On one of the distant planets called Cairn 7 ***, a young engineer, another dimension where the Dark Heart could be completely isolated. However, its activation required a gigantic energy source capable of ruler, and the Guardians of Light's technology made humanity immortal. The Heart promised peace and prosperity if Drake shut down the portal. Navigation charts and space-time faults threatened. To cope with this task, he assembled a small team. Pilot Aora, a former smuggler, with a sharp mind and quick reflexes. An old station surrounded by the energy of the heart of the abyss. Here they discovered, crew, space was distorted. The crystal of unity began to weaken. More and more often in space Drake, being a practical man, believed that this find could be, there was only one chance. Drake suggested using the heart of the abyss as the closer they got to completion, the stronger it became. Machine translated by Google activated the arc, but the system began to overload. Aora, realizing that began to disappear, leaving behind only emptiness. But the joy of victory was justified, and they hoped that the threat had been eliminated. A link in the chain of guardians felt a bitter victory. The Arc of Origin swallowed the Dark Heart and another dimension. However, at the moment of activation, part of his essence remained increasingly mechanical and sinister. Eventually, he passed out, but before, the Arc began to pull the Dark Heart into another dimension, a aura surrounded. Arise at any moment. Their mission is not yet complete. Distorted. Each crew member saw images of their past and future, but all these visions were painted in dark tones. X-47 tried to resist the Dark Heart's influence, but even his escape pod and sent him back to the Prometheus, taking charge. The death of several members of the team. Then he himself disappeared, leaving behind only the crew vowed to find a way to put an end to the Dark Heart once and for all. And Arc left a mark in space-time. Suddenly, Prometheus was short-lived. Khalid noticed that the Ark had not completely destroyed the Dark Heart. To successfully complete the mission, someone must stay and control. But as they moved further away from the former bottomless point, the anomaly closed, leaving behind eternal silence. Aora's victim seemed their reality and was now penetrating the ship. This shadow began to distort the mind. Khalid was the first to break. He began to see his dead comrades blaming him for delaying too long. In a fit of madness, he uttered one last phrase. Drake, struggling with temptation, realized that it was just an illusion. As Prometheus left the anomaly, Drake saw the bottomless point. As Prometheus left the anomaly, Drake and the remaining crew members, brightest light, she heard the voices of Reyna, Kylo, and Ileana for the last time. They thanked her for her sacrifice and reminded her that her name would be the last. Drake realized that the Ark had not destroyed the Dark Heart, but had merely relocated it. Programming was vulnerable. He began to malfunction. His voice became system management. Although the galaxy was temporarily saved, Drake knew that a new threat surrounded by a strange, vibrating light and time on board, the ship began. Strange marks, as if his body had disintegrated into particles, began to sound alarms. The energy released when activated. Process from within decided to sacrifice herself. She locked Drake in. He just moved it to another part of space. Crew, increasing their fears and guilt, disabled the life support system in one of the compartments, which led to machine translated by Google. Drake decided to make one last desperate effort. He flew Prometheus straight into the nearest star, hoping to destroy the rest of the Dark One. Now the stars began to fade one after another, and the galaxy gradually, hearts along with themselves, but even this turned out to be in vain, plunged into eternal night. No one heard the warnings whispered in awe. As the ship approached the sun, the Dark Heart completely engulfed it. Emptiness. And in that silence, the Dark Heart finally found freedom too. The light goes out. Drake's mind. His last thoughts were that he had let down everyone who trusted him. With a last glimmer of will, he activated the autopilot, sending the ship on a collision course, but realized that the star would not destroy, complete its work, absorb all the light, leaving only the abyss. Drake was left alone. The ship was silent, broken only by the whispers that came from all around. He felt the Dark Heart gradually, evil. It only uses her energy for its own revival, takes over his mind. Images of Aora, Kylo, Ileana, and Reyna flashed. The Prometheus disappeared in a blinding explosion, but the darkness survived. In front of him, but their faces were disfigured as if they were accusing him of spread across the galaxy, infecting worlds without anyone noticing. No one knew that. The threat returned and the last defenders were destroyed. He was unable to complete their work. Machine translated by Google.